This is the biggest question I think we all have as parents. And I'd say it's probably the one fear I still have. How will they feel? How will they feel? And it's something that you can't really control because it's however they feel. Um, I think there's a lot of things we can do to support them in how they're going to feel about their conception. And one of the things is by telling early, telling them about their conception before they even really remember being told. So our girls know sort of from the age of 2, really, they could almost start reciting it back that mummy's eggs were broken. We tried really, really hard to have a baby. And a lady did a kind thing by donating her eggs, and that allowed us to have a baby that was mixed with daddy's seed. Mummy put in mummy's tummy and mummy grew them, and that's how they came to be. And that story will evolve as they grow. So it's not just a one time, we're going to tell you this and you'll be fine about it. It's a dialogue, it's a process. So for my eldest, I kind of tried to introduce certain things where she's noticed, oh, mummy, your eyes are green and mine are blue. And I just tried to explain, well, you won't have the same eyes as mummy. You won't look like mummy because you didn't come from mummy's egg. But you will probably have some things from our donor and you look like daddy. But you also smile like mummy, don't you? And you also sound like mummy when you talk. So we celebrate the things we do share as well. But I think it's really important to talk with pride, and to become comfortable with your story so that they pick up on that. Children are intuitive. They can sense how you're feeling about it. And so I would say practice from an early age and make sure that you've got used to saying it out loud. And that's even while you're pregnant, you can talk to them. There are some amazing children's books to help introduce the concept as well. And then I think as they grow and thinking about how they might feel about it, there are some important things we can do as parents. So it's being open to them asking questions, not shutting those questions down with things like, oh, don't talk about that because that might upset your mum, or don't mention that because that's, the donors, it doesn't matter, it's not important, because it might be important to them. So I think it's just having that open dialogue that they know they can come to us with any questions they might have. And also knowing that if they do want to find out more, that it might be possible. So for those who have used a donor who is either OpenID or anonymous and you don't know who they are, DNA testing nowadays means that quite often you can find a close relative match and work out who that person is. And it varies in different countries as to how easy that is. But I find comfort in the fact that anonymity is no more and that there are tools out there to allow me to support our children. But yeah, I think a lot of how they will pick up from us and how we feel about it. And I think if we can talk about it without shame, have a supportive family network around us who know the story and can reinforce that dialogue, and we can be open to however they might want to feel and express themselves about it, that they're going to experience it very differently to people who may not have found out until they were older. And yeah, so I think being open is really, really key. I don't think that means that there won't be questions or feelings in the future, but it definitely gives you a head start. And that's what the research says as well. So there's a brilliant book called We Are Family, and that's by the researcher Susan Gollenbach. And she's researched families over, I think, the past 40 years, families through natural conception, IVF, and donor conception. And the findings were that there was a better outcome for those that had used a donor than those that had conceived naturally. And I think quite often we've really thought through what parenthood means to us to go down this route, and we are already kind of steps ahead in thinking about the future and supporting our children. So like I said in one of my previous answers, we're much more conscious parents by this stage, and so that will also have an impact on how our child feels, how secure they feel, and how loved they feel within the family as well.